Hey, it's Corey with Cars and Corey, and I am about to do something that I have wanted to do for a very long time. I am finally going to drive the new generation Audi RS3. This is a car that's been practically unobtainium for the last 2 years. Anyone who's wanted a new RS3 has had to wait sometimes up to 2 years for one of these cars from order to delivery. And I think my store that I work for in particular has probably only seen about 3, maybe 4 of these in the last 2 years. So I actually happen to have 3 of them coming in this month. And unfortunately for the person who ordered this particular car, in the 14 months that they were waiting, their life circumstances changed. And so they weren't able to take ownership of the car. Now, I do have obviously a number of people lined up to buy it, but as it is currently an unsold vehicle, I actually get to put a few miles on it. Now, I've driven, obviously, the new A3, the new S3, and I've driven the previous generation RS3. I've also driven the TTRS. I've driven pretty much every modern Audi you could think of, save for the new generation R8. I haven't really put any wheel time on that car, but so yeah, it's just been very elusive trying to get a drive in this car. This particular one's trimmed in Python yellow, which I am not a yellow car person, but I am actually really fond of this color. It's unfortunately a little overcast out right now. If it was direct sunlight, you would see that this is a little closer to the green scale than it is the orange scale or the red scale in the color spectrum. But this one's trimmed with, spec'd out with black optic package. It's got the black rings and badges, the black roof, black stitch seats. I'm sure you know all the top line numbers if you're watching any of these RS3 videos. Roughly 400 horsepower. I think it was 394 pound-feet of torque out of the 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 5. Dual clutch automatic transmission. This one has the RS torque splitter, which allows you to split the, adjust the power split to the rear wheels. That's actually going to be coming out in next year's S3, which is really cool. I think that's going to be where the smart money goes, assuming that the weight is still as bad as it is right now on the RS3. But yeah, this thing is just a mental little compact car. Super fast. The 5-cylinder sounds absolutely epic. In fact, it's a shame they don't put it in more of our lineup. It's really just this car now that the TTRS is gone. But anyway, I'm going to take it for a little spin. I'm not going to go too crazy because I don't own the car and I'm not going to own the car, and I want to be fair to the next person who does own the car. But let's see how it looks out on the road. All right, so this isn't a full review video by any stretch of the imagination. This is really just for me to get a baseline feel for how this car drives, and do I think it's worth the roughly $70,000 asking price. When these cars were first coming out, I was like, oh man, you're going to be paying $65,000-ish for a golf platform car, which at its base level, it is built on the same chassis as the Golf. So a lot of great cars came from very lowly places. We look at cars, homologation specials like the WRX STI, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, countless examples, Lancia Delta, Integrale, etc., etc. So RS3, while it doesn't have any actual rally pedigree per se, outside of Audi being a rally car company, they're not building RS3 rally cars or anything to that effect, but it'll be interesting to see how this drives. So all right, let's get moving. So I am currently in RS Performance mode, which is an individualized mode. I've got ESC, or stability control, on Sport. I've got transmission in Sport. I've got exhaust in Sport. Keeping shifting automatic because I'm driving with one hand right now, unfortunately. I didn't bring adequate camera equipment. This was kind of an impromptu thing. Suspension in Comfort, because you should never put your suspension in Sport unless you are on a racetrack in Europe or Japan, maybe. And we're not there. Got my head-up display showing what gear I'm in, showing what speed I'm going, and showing my oil temperature, which is vital. Got my power and torque distribution there, showing on the instrument binnacle, cluster, whatever you want to call it. Oh my goodness, that 5-cylinder sounds phenomenal. Yeah, it holds RPM and holds the gear, which is really nice. It's not trying to upshift for the sake of efficiency. Oh man, I really should be shifting this car. All right. We'll upshift it a little bit. Yeah, oh, I'm already excited for this. So the new S3 is a big jump going up from the previous S3. In my mind, it feels like a lot more substantial of a car. It feels like a more complete performance car. So it'll be interesting to see how this compares to the previous RS3, which I don't remember driving too terribly well. It was a long time ago, but a little bit of turbo lag from a standstill. It's a little herky-jerky if you lift off, but let's go. Oh yeah. Yeah, that feels like 400 horsepower. Nice downshift, or in the right gear, right coming around the corner. Love it. Yeah, automatic mode isn't entirely disappointing. I'm happy about that. Yeah, this engine sounds stellar. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to where I can actually get through some twisties. So let me put this down. All right. Now we're on a little stretch of road where we can actually drive it a little bit. Wow. Yeah, this feels a lot different. I've seen the light. I get why this costs as much as it does. Just toning it down a little bit here. Oh, good. Looks like our all our fluids are up to temp. That's good. I won't get stuck behind any slow cars coming up here. We'll see. Ah, rats. Let's just give them a little space. Do. Yep, this car sounds phenomenal. All right, that should be hopefully enough room. Brakes are absolutely excellent. Oh yeah, very confidence-inspiring. I'm not gonna get super crazy going through these corners, especially not with one hand on the wheel, but man, I can tell that this thing has really got the performance to back up the price point. Woo! That's awesome. All right, make a U-turn and hit those switchbacks again and call it good, but I get it. Oh, another slow car to get stuck behind. Yeah, folks, if you're thinking about an RS3, you're gonna have to wait a while unless you wanna pay a lot more than MSRP. Currently, we're selling ours for about $5,000 over its MSRP, which, if you think that's unfair, well, I have some news for you. That's pretty average, A, and B, all of the used ones that I see for sale right now are selling at MSRP. So, you know, we're not trying to be pigs, but that's just kind of how the market is. But anyway, if you're thinking about ordering one and waiting, especially if you can get an allocation and an order in at MSRP or close to it, I say do it. I can't think of a lot of other cars that match this car's performance. BMW M2, although I think it's the ugliest thing on earth, the new one. CLA 45 AMG, if they're still making that, I believe they are. That's about it. That is about it. But neither one of them have this 5-cylinder, so I will give the M2 the ability to get a manual transmission. I will give that nod to the M2. We do not get a manual in this car, but honestly, this thing is so fast, a manual would slow it down. And I know that's probably gonna make some purists mad. I love a manual too, and generally prefer one. But in a car that's this frantic and this turbocharged, a dual clutch transmission makes the most sense. Anyway, that's my video. If you like what you saw, please like the video, consider subscribing, and watch this space for more performance car content. Thank you so much for watching.